Okay, still go. Hello. Hi. Am I live? Oh, hi guys. Hey, guys. First and foremost, let me formally apologize. I know I was supposed to be on at 3 o'clock, and it's currently 20 to 5 o'clock. So I'm about an hour 40 minutes late. And first and foremost, I do truly apologize. I had hoped, I had planned everything that by 3 o'clock I'll have actually been done at work, and as soon as I'm done at work, jump off of that, and then I can actually jump on this. So first thing, I'll actually open this by saying, if you want a YouTube channel, it's hard, but it's worth it. I actually do greatly enjoy it. Thank you to everyone who's actually joining my live. It's hard, but it's worth it. So if you want to do it, do it. If if you find it easy stopping things, then just don't do it. But on to today's business. First and foremost, hi, how's everyone? I hope we're still reading. Welcome to my channel. The channel is called Book Brokers. This is a platform that I've created for us to share different book titles and readers' comments as we read books as a group. This will actually allow us to unpack and see things that you might have not seen as an individual reading the book, but moving on and discussing with other people will help you gain the knowledge and other facets. So we're currently still reading The Richest Man in Babylon. The current chapter that we are reviewing is The Gold Lender. I hope everyone's reading with me. You'll excuse me for my little face cloth. Every now and again, I will wipe over my face because I am in quite the sweat, and I've got my notes with me. Hopefully, you are jotting them down. I do try nowadays. I will have them in like a soft copy because I do read my books on the go, whether I'm listening to the audiobook or I'm actually reading the actual hard copy book or the PDF. But because I read in different forms, I always have my phone with me to make notes as I go along. So first and foremost, as a revision from the previous chapters, so far we've met Nomasir and Bensier and Kabai, who were the first two people who we met. This was in the man who won, yeah, the man who wanted gold. If I remember the title correctly, I'll just go over it again. So in that chapter, we actually met the two gentlemen who wanted to find out about how to build wealth. In the second chapter is when we actually met Arcad himself, which is the majority of the book is actually based on the knowledge of Arcad. In the third chapter, we had Arcad now discussing his knowledge with the general public, which was in the goddess of love, in the goddess of good luck. Yes, in how to find favor with the goddess of good luck. The chapter after that was it was the seven cures, and then it was the goddess of good luck, if I'm correct. And then after those came the five laws of gold. After that comes the gold lender. So now, hopefully, you are actually tracking the perspectives which this book is actually detailing, because in the chapter up from the gold lender, this is the chapter where we're actually looking at what we would in today's time consider the bank. So the chapter about the gold lender, we actually see if you were to actually sit down with your bank and have a conversation, this is what your conversation would probably go like. If you've had any large sum of money and you've actually gone to your bank and sat down, you'll notice you'll see a lot of similarities between what is said in this chapter versus what your banker will then address you about. But I'll start referring to my notes and start sharing things that I found interesting. So first and foremost, Rodan runs into good luck. That is the first thing that we are introduced into the chapter. We know about Rodan because he finally gets a large sum of money, and we've seen this happen to many people, where someone will either get a funeral policy payout or someone will win a large sum of money, whether it's in gambling, whether it's in an extra sum of money, something you find by chance, or something that you actually went looking for. And you find yourself with a large sum of money. Most people, first thing they do is they start spending it on everything. Rodan did what everyone is suggested to do, is actually first sit down and slowly plan your money. It goes back to the seven cures, whereby you have a budget. You know how much you have, you know what this can make you. So you find uses for your money. So you actually have to sit down and actually go through the steps of, now that I have this large sum of money, who do I speak to? You start consulting, the fourth law of gold. You start consulting with other people who are actually better educated in this topic. And in consulting with them, the first person you will go to then is your gold lender. The gold lender in today's time would be your bank, which is exactly what Rodan did. I would actually suggest all of us do this. Start building a rapport with your, if not necessarily a banker, but someone in the financial field, someone who can actually advise you about these different topics, someone with a deeper knowledge. Whenever, if you know a cousin who does accounting, like myself, always engage your family members about these topics. It's always finding people who are well educated in these topics so that you can draw from their knowledge, because no one man can know all things. So it's the sharing of knowledge, the engaging with people, which is exactly what Rodan did. And I do immensely commend Rodan for this. I would suggest that all of us actually get into the habit of doing this, also going to our local banks and actually sitting down with financial advisors. A lot of banks actually offer this as a service. So actually going to sit down with a financial advisor, someone who understands your entire financial situation, someone who can make suggestions and give you advice based on your personal current financial situation. So Rodan did the same thing, found him 50 pieces of gold and went directly to the gold lender. Gold lender, this is not something most people do, as we hear from the comments. He was very surprised that someone actually decided to come see him up before spending their money. And then okay, I spoke about that. I will keep looking down every now and again, because a lot of these topics, I've been practicing this throughout the day. You will notice, hopefully. So, in this chapter, oh yes, another thing I actually wanted to mention. Having sat down with Rodan brings across the tale of the ox and the ass. I'm not sure whether YouTube will want to bleep that out for me, but the tale between the ox and the ass is a tale that many of us can learn from. Too often, we want to get into a situation whereby you see someone who has a need which you can fulfill. However, in fulfilling this need, you would be taking from your investments and taking away from your plans, because this is often something or someone that you do not plan for. And we find ourselves putting a lot of money that we had initially planned to invest in certain ideas, now taking that money to go help someone else. And as nice as that seems, it's a beautiful thing to actually help and live together as a community. However, do remember that at the end of the day, when you are trying to build wealth is a long-term activity. So a lot of short-term disruptions actually hinder the growth that you are supposed to gain within that time period. So whenever you want to help someone, first ensure that in helping them, you are not hurting yourself, that you are still able to achieve your financial goals even after helping them. If helping them comes at the cost of you failing at your financial goals, find other ways to assist them, or simply let that person know that I will not be able to assist you. We find ourselves tied in things that we really shouldn't be, whereby someone will ask you for help as, can you borrow me 8,000 rand? It might be 1,000 rand that you were planning to actually go put into a savings account. But now, because you feel some kind of emotional attachment to this individual or some level of loyalty to this individual, you will then put that off and go give this person 1,000 rand. And then 2, 3 months down the line, you're not as happy when this person is unable to pay you back, or you'd never get your money back to begin with. So whenever you do or extend the helping hand, ensure that that hand isn't at your own detriment. Okay. The okay. And then, yes, I do try to keep my episodes about 12 minutes. I do apologize. I'm watching time. So the last point I actually did want to mention about this chapter, which is something I feel a lot of us are struggling with: money and emotions. So in this chapter, they actually touch on the fact of avoiding making financial decisions based on emotion. So often, when you get a large sum of money, there's an exhilaration of what you would then assume is a level of freedom. But in this exhilaration, we end up committing ourselves and not making the best financial decisions that we can make. Or whenever you see an opportunity that is very profitable, but because you are not in the sound emotional state, you then completely pass up on the opportunity. And then you look in hindsight and you're like, there was an opportunity where I could have actually made 20, 30 times my investment. Yes, it's very unrealistic. However, there are situations where that does happen, where you could have made 20, 30% of your investment back. And because you were thinking emotionally and not with sound mind, you then left the opportunity, or you jumped into something that costed you more than it should have, whereby the ROI on the actual investment isn't what it should have been. Avoid making emotional decisions about money. When you're sad, don't make a decision about money. Consider something, don't make a decision about money. Whenever you're too happy, don't commit to something. Whenever you feel stagnant, don't now start a new venture just so you can feel the exhilaration of moving again. When it comes to your money, ensure that your emotions and your financial decisions stay as separate as possible. Even though Warren Mr. Buffett does speak a little about human nature and human nature being part emotions and businesses, that will come later on in your investing lifestyle. For now, maintain a very clear line whereby when you are dealing with your money, when you're making a financial decision, the financial decision considers purely what is in the best interest of the investment. Whether investing in this idea is very profitable for you and is it possible for you. If you have 5,000 rand now and you want to buy a brand new car and it's gonna cost you 5,000 rand, you can't then assume that you can afford the car, because that's just enough money. It's avoid. I will keep going back to this. Avoid being emotional about money. Avoid being emotional about money. Avoid being emotional about money. When it is a financial decision, ensure that your emotions and your money stay completely separated. If we can start there, follow the five, you will see a lot of these laws. Like this entire chapter was basically the fourth law, consulting people who are better knowledgeable about money. The the chapter prior to this, it was the five laws, the seven laws. A lot of the five laws can be related to the seven cures. A lot of the things that Arcad did when he was still learning from Algamish, they still come through in the chapters that follow, from the different perspectives that this book actually gives us financial knowledge from. It gives you knowledge from a young person who grew up under someone who is well educated in money. It gives you people who are learning about money in their senior years. It gives you a young man who is still very fresh and eager. It gives you the banker side. In following chapters, there's a few other perspectives that I still want us to consider that the book does cover in very nice detail. And it brings this book somehow brings the topic of money full circle. That's why it was my first read. It's one of my favorite books so far. Is there anything that you've learned that you feel that if I was to apply these three things to my daily life, I will definitely see an increase in my personal wealth from this year moving on to the next? What are the three things that you feel if you were to do consistently that you would actually see? Please do comment in the comments below. Hit like, hit share. As soon as you see this video, thank you for everyone who actually supported me off of my videos. The love is immense and I do truly appreciate it. Hopefully we grow as a community. If there's certain books that you've seen that you want me to read, please let me know in the DA, whether you can hit me in the comments, you can hit us on our Twitter page at Broker Books. I'll also leave a link to that in the comments. I'll leave a link to our previous videos. If there's a video that you haven't seen, if there's a chapter of a book that you haven't read that you want to go back, please go back, review the chapter, come back, discuss it in this video. Even if we have to go back and revisit a certain topic that you feel I was a bit too light and too brief about, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll definitely revisit the topic. We can unpack it. I know there's a lot of things that I was very brief about because I was assuming that we're all reading the book together. But if there's something that I said in passing that you did not understand while you were reading the book, know that I am always happy and always willing to explain anything from my perspective. We share views, we share ideas. This is merely a platform. You're just as knowledgeable as I am. If there's something that you know that you want to share with us, that you want to share with the entire platform, please know that you are welcome to do so. And we'll sit down with it, we'll critique it, and we'll break it up and see how we feel about it. To everyone who's watched this channel, I thank you for your love and support. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for hitting share. And thank you for subscribing. Till next time, the more we read, the better we become. Thank you.